Set prayers.
Almighty God, who in thy wisdom and goodness has appointed the offices of rulers and parliament for the welfare of society and just government of men, we beseech thee to behold with thy abundant favor us, thy servants, whom thou hast been pleased to call to the performance of important trust in this land. Let thy blessing descend upon us here in this house assembled. Grant us that we may treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberations in so just and faithful a manner to promote thy honor and glory, to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of this country and of those whose interests thou hast committed to our care. Amen.
Correction and approval of records of votes and proceedings of the National Assembly sitting of Tuesday, 19 September 2023.
Honorable members, the record of votes and proceedings of the National Assembly sitting of Tuesday, 19 September 2023 is before us for correction and approval. Can any honorable member please move the motion for correction and approval of the said record of votes and proceedings? Honorable member for Kian Central.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise to raise the motion for the correction and approval of record of votes and proceedings of the National Assembly sittings of Tuesday, 19 September 2023. Thank you.
Any seconder, honorable members? Honorable member for Nyani.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I rise to second the motion.
It has been moved and seconded that the record of votes and proceedings of the National Assembly sitting of Tuesday, 19 September 2023 be considered and approved. Honorable members, we have copies of the said record of votes and proceedings with us. As usual, we look through it page by page. We look through it, and then members may make their comments and observations. Beginning with page 1, the Honorable Member for 𝒂𝒏.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Page 1, number 3, under correction and approval of records of the votes is written. The article D should be removed. It should be correction and approval of record of votes and proceeding of the National Assembly sittings. Thank you.
Thank you. Noted. Any more observations or comments on page 1? We move to page 2. No observations or comments? We move to page 3. Honorable members, on page 3, Honorable Hassan Toure, member for Bakau, he should be moved to those members absent with permission. He called and he was granted permission. Yesterday, he's not feeling fine. Any more comments or observations on page 3? We move to page 4. Page 4. Thank you very much, honorable members. It has been moved and seconded that the record of votes and proceedings of the National Assembly sitting of Tuesday, 19 September 2023 be approved as amended. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. Thank you very much, honorable members. Clerk, may we proceed?
Questions for oral answers.
Honorable members, as per the order paper and order 41.1 of the standing orders, today is questions for oral answers. Furthermore, as a reminder, clause 43 of the standing orders limited supplementary questions to 7 in total, 2 for the honorable member asking the question and 5 among other members. Therefore, we will proceed with His Excellency, the Vice President and honorable ministers scheduled for today to give their oral answers. Thank you very much. Clerk, we may proceed.
Questions for oral answer by the Honorable Minister for Tourism, Arts and Culture.
May I now invite the Honorable Minister for Tourism, Arts and Culture to take the podium. Honorable members, questions for which due notices were given to the Honorable Minister for Tourism, Arts and Culture by honorable members for oral reply. Question number 252 of 2023 by the Honorable Member for Banjul North Constituency.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Tourism, Arts and Culture update this August Assembly what plans are in place to support arts and culture in the city of Banjul?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity once again to be in this House in response to questions that are related to my ministry. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Banjul is the cradle of Gambian modern performing arts and has a very rich and varied culture the Super Eagles, the 𝒂𝒂𝒏 band, the 𝒂𝒂𝒏 band, and the financial support to many Banjul cultural groups to facilitate their participation in the famous Banjul Egere Night of January 1st, held at the I-22 grounds every year. Homes, streets, wharves, and printing houses to build a database of built heritage resource of the city. This inventory exercise is ongoing. It will be followed by the management plan. This sad record has now been remedied, and the young artists in Banjul will have a play to display their talents. Thank you.
Any supplementary?
Yes, Honorable Speaker. Great initiative by the ministry. Honorable Speaker, can the Honorable Minister tell us what plans they have, understanding that in Banjul we have what we call Cultural Week during the festive period of the Christmas, that is during the 25th of December to the 1st of January in Banjul, organized by Jollof Arts, like you mentioned. Is there any plans that you put in place in terms of making sure that that cultural festive period is being transformed to international festival, understanding the amount of people that normally come during that period to the city of Banjul? What plans do the ministry have in terms of making sure that that cultural festival is international?
Mr. Speaker, I refer the Honourable Member for Banjul North to contact all the groups involved. My ministry have always and will continue to support them financially in this program. And we have done so in the last couple of years since I became minister, with the exception of the year that COVID hit this country hard. And we will continue to support them, give them financial support, and promote all those that are involved in promoting the revival of this great city of ours, that is the city of Banjul.
Any more?
No, it's okay. Thank you.
I now invite the Honorable Member for Central Badigo.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, the inventory exercise that you're talking about, is it prudent for your ministry to consider collection of artifacts in Banjul too?
Mr. Speaker, the project is a UNESCO-sponsored project, and when it was rolled out, I requested the Director General of the NCAC to contact the elders of Banjul to have an accurate information regarding all the sites that were of interest to the NCAC geared towards the project. And I can assure you we will continue those efforts in that direction, and if collecting artifacts would add value to the project, I assure the member for Central Badibu it will be done.
Honorable Member for Fonyi Jarol.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Minister, you mentioned giving money to them as a support. Can you tell us how much was this amount?
Mr. Speaker, I may not have the records here, but the records are at the NCAC and at my ministry, but I don't have them here.
Honorable Member for Banjul South.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm applauding the ministry's initiative in supporting Banjul Cultural Week, as well as establishing that radio at the Arch 22nd, the first radio station since Radio ceased. What other initiative is the ministry doing in bringing up recording studios for upcoming artists? Because we have a lot of them coming up in Banjul. Thank you.
So, Speaker, this brings me to a very important issue, which my ministry have written to the clerk of the National Assembly requesting me to have an opportunity to deliver a short statement regarding the bicentenary celebration that is to take place in Janjanbureh on the 4th to the 7th of January. The government of the Gambia in 2016 did not have the opportunity to celebrate the return of slaves to the island of Banjul because of the elections and a lot of issues. This government felt this time round is an opportune moment for us to celebrate the return, 200 years anniversary of return of slaves to the island of Janjanbureh, Makati Island Division, which the ball is set, and I hope we will have time to engage the entire parliament in this program. It's a national program. It has nothing to do with politics. It is a program that belongs to the entire nation. And indeed, we have just started. The committee is at work, and we will reach out to Parliament so that parliamentarians can be fully involved in this process, and that every parliamentarian will be given the opportunity, and every ethnic group in the Gambia will be given the opportunity, and every sector of the society will be given an opportunity to showcase their culture, their artistic, a lot of other things. We are expecting to invite 6 heads of state to attend. Last week, I was dispatched as a special envoy of the president to President Macky Sall of Senegal, being given the chief guest of honor of this ceremony by His Excellency President Adama Barrow, taking into account that President Sall will not be running for office in February next year. And we hope to invite neighboring heads of states also to come and join this celebration, which is a very significant one in our history, particularly in the culture that Gambia have gone through the last 200 years. And that's why my ministry believes that the supporting of cultural groups goes beyond Banjul. We have supported almost all the festivals throughout the country, financially and technically also. We have attached technical officials to give them support in making sure that this cultural celebration is done. And the records are there to speak for themselves, the amount of money we disbursed since I took over office. We believe that culture is part of our life. It can unify us, it can give us time and pleasure. Madam Member for Banjul South, we will continue to support them, and we are supporting them, and we will be working, and that's why, because of the return of Banjul and the celebration in Banjul, we are now moving the program from the 4th of January to the 7th.
Point of order. Yes, may I hear the point of order?
I rise on point of order 43.3. The time taken to ask a supplementary question shall not be longer than 1 minute. An answer to a supplementary question shall not be longer than 2 minutes.
Yes, that's what he said. He has got to explain what he is saying with the permission of the Speaker. Have you heard of him?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, but he's not answered my question yet. Maybe he's explaining, but not my question.
Repeat the question, I would answer it. The question, I'll be happy to answer it.
I said, raise your tax if you want to comment, not to shout and I will not hear you. I heard the voice of Latikunda Sabiji, am I right?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. Well, it is my opinion that both the Speaker, the Deputy Speaker, and every National Assembly member is a subject to the standing order. So I don't think nobody should take permission from the Speaker. Let me break the law or bend the law, and you let him to break or bend the law. I don't think that's proper.
You see, Honorable Member, every law has a way out. There are laws laid down, like Honorable Member, when you don't come to Parliament, or you dodge. You should not dodge, but you go. It's a right. It's against the law. There are those who will call, and only the office of the speaker grants that permission, and they will call, I grant them. Some of them will only notify and come and tell me I could not come because I was sick or I had a program. Those are not permissions. So what I'm saying is the Honorable Minister is granted to go beyond that place to explain what he is supposed to explain. Honorable Minister, can you continue, please?
Honorable Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, then
the debate is closed.
Honorable Speaker,
Honorable members, the debate is closed.
Can we make observation, please?
No observations. Please. No observations.
Please.
Honorable member, no observations. I'm not granting observations. Honorable Minister, can you proceed?
Then.
Honorable Speaker, I will be happy if the member for Banjul South can raise his question again, and I would certainly attempt to respond it by your permission.
May I now
point of order, Honorable Speaker.
Who is speaking?
Is Sahaw, Central Body.
Honorable member, you say you're rising on?
Point of order, 43. 43.3.
Pardon?
43.3. Honorable Speaker, the time taken to ask a supplementary question shall be no longer than 1 minute, and an answer to supplementary question shall not be longer than 2 minutes. This period may be extended and at the discretion of the Speaker. But you did not tell us. When the Minister said he will read further, you should have said granted so that we would have heard you. But nobody heard you saying it. We know that you have the prerogative to extend it, but nobody was aware of it in this House. That's why a member rose up.
Honorable member, two things. I have made a ruling. And when I make a ruling, you cannot make any other comments. There is a process. And I have a ruling. Whether it is right or wrong, that ruling stands. And the other thing is, he said, with your permission, I said, go ahead. Yeah, you never heard it. So, all right, just hold on. Fine, just listen. If I had not given him permission, I would have stopped him. Listen very carefully. I granted it. But you asked. I said I granted him permission. Does it say that you must hear it?
Members need to know.
Members need to know, and now
members know that you have granted him.
And when the member asked, honorable member, please, Central Badibu, the member asked, and I made you know that I granted it. Yes. So what next? That's what I said. I said I granted him. I said the member asked, and I responded that I answered him. What else do you need? Honorable member for Central Badibu, there is no person you can rely on for you to know. 1. 2, you asked and I made you know. What else do you need? Honorable member, honorable minister, can you proceed? Now, you have just answered that question. We now proceed to the next one. Honorable member for Latrikunda Sabiji.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. Honorable Minister, you will agree with me that...
Mr. Speaker, I think the Honorable Minister wanted me to repeat my question. It's not been answered.
Honorable Minister, do you want have you answered, or you want him to repeat the question? You want her to repeat the question?
Honorable Speaker, with your commission and for clarity, I will request the Banjul South MP to repeat the question, and I will give you an appropriate.
All right. Banjul South, can you repeat your question?
Thank you. Honorable Minister, Mr. Speaker, what I said was I applauded the Honorable Minister for the initiative that he took to open a radio station, the first after Radio Sept, and then I asked him what plans he has to establish recording station, because we have many upcoming musicians in Banjul. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, I appreciate the question of the honorable member, but government does not involve in creating or establishing recording studio. This is a private venture, and I can assure you that this government, through my ministry, will encourage and support all those who want to enter into these ventures.
Yeah, can we now have the Honorable Member for 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒏𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒔?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. Honorable Minister, you will agree with me, improving arts and culture doesn't necessarily mean only concentrating on building the local infrastructure or activities. Is your ministry considering issuing diplomatic passport to prominent musicians and dramaturgs to ease their travel to other countries? Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, I want to ask what the honourable member.
I don't know the relevance of diplomatic passports to the principal question.
Honourable Speaker, do you read the question?
Honourable Member for 𝒂𝒂𝒄𝒏𝒂𝒏, may I hear you?
I said, do you read the question properly? It's about improving arts and culture in Banjul, which is solely part of Gambia and our capital for that matter. So we can derive or inspire ourselves from this question and ask anything that is going to improve arts and culture.
You want to justify yourself, but it's not justified. Honourable Member for 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒏.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Minister, I think we all know Banjulians with culture, and then it's about culture. My question to you is, what plans do you have to bring back those cultural days in Banjul, where we used to celebrate Rasulin, where we have two arenas, where we used to celebrate Rasulin, where we have two arenas? Are there any plans to make sure that Banjul come back to those days?
Although it's a new element, but I will still, with the permission of the Speaker, attempt to answer it. I can assure you that we already have a program of constructing wrestling arenas throughout the country, and that program, if completed, will take care of exactly what you are talking about as we speak now.
Question number 253 of 2023 by the Honourable Member for 𝒂𝒑𝒄𝒄𝒏 constituency.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker, for giving me the opportunity. Honourable Speaker, could the Honourable Minister for Tourism, Arts and Culture explain to this August Assembly when would his ministry commence work to reclaim and maintain 𝒂𝒂𝒃𝒃 Island in 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒏, which is being eroded by the river on a daily basis, and also to rehabilitate the jetty in Albela? Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Member for 𝒂𝒑𝒄𝒄𝒏 constituency. Through the $68 million World Bank grant on the Tourism Diversification and Resilience Project under my ministry, there is a provision for the protection of the 𝒂𝒂𝒃𝒃 Island and the jetty at Albela. The project is currently hiring consultants for the feasibility studies. This will be followed by the start of works to protect the island, which is a UNESCO heritage site. Most likely in the first quarter of 2025, because the pre-design and feasibility studies must be done for nearly a year to understand the issues associated with the intervention.
Any secondary?
Yeah, thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Minister, the issue of the $68 million project we have been hearing it for so long now, and you promised this August Assembly that part of that money will be used to reclaim the island and also to rebuild the jetty. But it's been so prolonged, and we ask you to give us a timeline. When do you think this work will commence?
I've already indicated that in my answer. These are very technical issues which are beyond my knowledge and scope. But I'll depend on the advice of the technicians. And as I have indicated in my answer, by 2025. Because it has to go through a long process of bidding, and selection through the World Bank thing is very rigorous. So it is not under our control entirely as a government. Although we are part of the process, but it must be subjected to international guidelines and procedure and processes. So we cannot tell you that it has to be today. But by 2025, as I said, when the pre-design is ready, we should be able to start implementation of the project.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Honorable Speaker, the island is deteriorating daily. Do you have any mitigation plan at this point in time to mitigate the erosion that is eroding the island daily, different from depending on the project?
Mr. Speaker, this island has been deteriorating in the last 60-something years, and there were no attempts to restore it. Under this government, we took it upon ourselves to make sure that something is done with one of our greatest heritage sites, that is the James Island, which is now 𝒘𝒘𝒘𝒘 Island. And that's why we hold it as a strong value, that the island, something must be done. And that was what motivated this government, one of the reasons to engage the World Bank, to make sure that at least something is done to protect the island. And that process is ongoing, and we make sure, inshallah, by the end of the 5 years for the program, for the project, we should see a great difference for the betterment of that island.
Honorable Member for Kiang West.
Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister tell this August Assembly how were you able to establish the amount of funds to be spent on the restoration of the island without a proper feasibility study and a project design? How were you able to establish that amount? And how much of that cost will go into consultancy?
Mr. Speaker, I want to inform the Honorable Member the establishment of the cost goes beyond the Minister and beyond the government. This was as a result of a very long negotiation between the World Bank and the government of the Gambia. It was to take us minimum 2 years to complete this negotiation. My ministry, with the support of the Ministry of Finance, did it in 6 months. And we got approval of this amount. It has never happened in the history of this country. And I think this shows the commitment of our officials and the commitment of this government in making sure that things are done. The specificity of the project, I cannot tell you for now because I'm not involved at that technical level. Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, my question is not answered.
Honorable Member, he said the specifics that you required. He cannot give you those ones now.
No, what I questioned was, how was the cost established without a proper feasibility study? That was my question.
This is what I'm saying. He said he has to refer the question to the technicians. He said he cannot give you those specifics now. Honorable Member for Central Badibu.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, you will agree with all of us, or most of us from North Bank region, that the island is a source of income to the economy and to the people residing in the Nyomis. Honorable Minister, the island is dilapidating day and day out. So what measures, what measures are now that you can employ apart from the project funds to restore the baobabs that are dying infected and the erosion?
Well, Mr. Speaker, I want to inform the Honorable Member, the National Center for Arts and Culture and the Gambia Tourism Board is working with the communities concerned to make sure that some of these issues are addressed.
Honorable Member for Upper Fladu West.
Well, thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. I think it's just like similar to the question that Honorable Shao asked. But why are you interfering?
Honorable Member, can you take the floor?
Yes.
Use your microphone.
Yes. Is your ministry aware that we as a country is losing a lot of money from the 𝒘𝒘𝒘𝒘 Island? as the way the status quo remains, is your ministry aware that we are losing a lot of money the way the status quo remains as far as the island is concerned? If your ministry is aware, do you have any plan to bring the island back to life?
Mr. Speaker, I'm not aware we are losing a lot of money. If the member have some statistics and the amount lost, let him furnish it to my ministry.
Honorable Member for Fonyi Jarol.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Minister, you mentioned that the project would soon start. Honorable Minister, you mentioned in your answer that soon the project would start. And who is the contract awarded to? What I'm saying...
I will request that you read the answer before you proceed with your questions.
No, listen, you mentioned in your answers that soon the project will start. I'm now asking you, who is the contract awarded to?
Mr. Speaker, that's why I requested the member for Fonyi Jarol to read the answer to that question so that he will know exactly. Because what you are saying...
Honorable members.
Excuse me, my answer read. Can I be allowed to read my answer, Mr. Speaker?
Honorable Minister.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, just answer his question from the answers you have given.
I said the project is currently hiring consultants for the feasibility studies. This will be followed by the start of works to protect the island, which is a UNESCO heritage site, most likely in the first quarter of 2025, because the pre-design and feasibility studies must be done for nearly a year to understand the issues associated with the intervention.
Thank you very much. Honorable Minister, remember these are oral answers. Oral questions and answers. Members don't have responses with them, written responses with them. They rely on what you will tell them in what you have, and then they take notes. Members should also take notes. As the honorable members, as the minister responds to your questions, you take notes. If you are not satisfied, you come back. Somebody's changed something. Pardon? You cannot respond to?
I said you cannot know all the things that are said outside.
No, I want order. If you want to talk, go outside and give us peace to every other member to listen properly. Now, Honorable Member for Woolly East.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, as you know, the area is also consuming a heritage site. And the erosion is consuming everything, as he said. So what contingency measures or what emergency measures is your ministry taking, at least to protect the area before the project actually comes? Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, let me inform the Honourable Member for Woolly East. We will engage the Ministry of Works now that you are preparing the budget, so that you can insert an amount for them to be able to go and do that.
Honorable Minister, let me thank you very much and thank all honorable members who participated or asked questions, and all of you. We thank you for ably responding to questions posed by honorable members.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
I thank you for thanking me. I have something burning in my heart, and I wanted to be allowed 1 minute to say it to this august body. Can you allow me 1 minute?
I'll give you 1 minute at your request.
Yes.
Not in order.
Mr. Speaker, I congratulate the House leadership and I congratulate the members of Parliament and government for giving them a fitting means of doing their job. The vehicles given to them is very fitting and timely for them to be able to discharge their responsibility. But I share a different view with most people and others. I believe that Section 112 of the Constitution have made it very clear the responsibilities of members of Parliament to the Gambian nation. I therefore believe it is wrong for them to be deducted $22,000 a month to meet up the cost of this vehicle.
Honorable
This
Minister,
is my view, and I believe it's wrong.
Honorable Minister, you have 15 seconds to go.
It should be converted into fuel, and they should not pay a dime for this vehicle. They are doing a job. They are elected members. It is wrong, and I think
Honorable Minister, it's time.
Do everything possible that they should not pay a dime.
Honorable Minister. Honorable members, you were the very ones who were telling me, no, it's out of order, don't allow him. And now you are the very people knocking the table. Once again, Honorable Minister, thank you very much.
10 minutes.
Huh?
Mr. Speaker, remember you and I, Mr. Speaker, you and I were given scrap vehicles at the Kotu depot, at the Kotu workshop. We can cannibalize.
Honorable Minister, your time is out.
Our members were begging for living.
Honorable Minister, your time is out. Once again, yes, you, Honorable Minister, on behalf of both sides of Parliament, we want to thank you very much for ably answering to questions posed by honorable members. You are excused now. Thank you very much. Honorable members, I have to invoke Standing Order 14.3 to change the order of business for today. The Honorable Minister of Interior was here this morning, consulted us, and we granted him to go and do a very urgent thing immediately, and he will be joining us later. So instead of having the Honorable Minister for Interior, we will go to the next one as per the order paper.